Welcome to Some Guy's Garage. Today we're going to discuss what Ford will do to make a performance version of the Maverick pickup truck. Possibly a Raptor, but maybe something else. I think there are some other cooler and potentially more likely directions that they could head with the Maverick to spice it up, but we'll get to that later in the video. Let's start by talking about the major components they're going to need to change to make a performance Maverick, beginning with the engine. Right now, the Maverick has two powertrain options. A hybrid with a 2.5-liter four-cylinder, making a combined output of 191 horsepower, or a 2-liter EcoBoost four-cylinder making 250 horsepower. They will need to stick with a four-cylinder to fit in the C2 platform the Maverick currently uses, so we won't see a larger V6 EcoBoost here. The most likely choice is the 2.3-liter EcoBoost that was previously used in the Focus RS, which is on the same platform, and the entry-level Mustang. In the Mustang, this engine makes 310 horsepower, while the Focus RS made 350 horsepower. I'd expect a tune somewhere in this range for the Maverick. This will be a nice 60 to 100 horsepower bump over the current Maverick EcoBoost. Given the current Maverick can do 0 to 60 in around 5.9 seconds, it's possible we'd see a 0 to 60 time in the low 5-second range for a performance version of the Maverick. Moving on to the transmission, the hybrid Maverick currently gets a CVT, while the EcoBoost gets an 8-speed automatic. I'd expect to see the 8-speed automatic carry over, as the 10-speed from the Mustang is designed for a rear-wheel drive vehicle. The other interesting option would be the 6-speed manual that was in the Focus RS. Although it would be exciting for enthusiasts to have a manual pickup, I can't imagine Ford would sell enough to make it viable. Without a doubt, the drivetrain would remain all-wheel drive like the EcoBoost Maverick is already. The only possible change they could make is putting the torque vectoring rear differential from the Focus RS into it. This differential can send more power to either rear wheel to help push the vehicle through a corner. That would be a lot of fun to have in a hot Maverick. Styling-wise, we should expect the usual treatment that most Raptor vehicles get, including a different wheel and tire package, flared fenders, a prominent Ford grille and other badging throughout, with some vents thrown in for good measure. The Maverick is a good-looking little truck already, so hopefully they don't go too overboard and only up the aggressiveness just a little bit. Suspension, however, is where they will run into some problems. The hallmark of all previous Raptors is a big lift and uprated long-travel shocks. This would be challenging to fit onto a unibody platform, unlike the body-on-frame chassis of the current fleet of Raptors. The best we could hope for is a mild 1-inch lift and some retuned, maybe name-brand dampers like Fox or Bilstein. And this leads me to what I think are two better directions that they could go with for the performance model of the Maverick instead of doing a Raptor. The first idea being an ST version of the Maverick. It has been nearly 2 decades since Ford had a street-focused performance pickup truck with the old F-150 Lightning, not to be confused with the new EV Lightning. With the Maverick, they could easily make it into an ST by lowering it slightly on stiffer suspension and fitting larger rims with high-performance rubber. If they do all of the other changes I mentioned earlier, especially the torque vectoring differentials, it could make sense to even call it an RS. I think this is actually more likely than a Maverick Raptor, given the platform and how cool a hot hatch-like truck could be, especially with the Focus not being available anymore. There is some speculation out there, based on spy shots of camouflaged Mavericks on the street, that they are testing ST-like modifications. The other direction they could go, which is a bit more crazy, would be to build a rally-focused Maverick. So rather than going Baja or off-road inspired, they could go rally-inspired with a dirt, gravel, tarmac focus. Ford has a lot of pedigree in the rally world with the Cosworth, Escort, and Sierras of the 80s. They could even use some of this old naming. Even though they were cars, it's not like Ford hasn't used a car name on a non-car vehicle. Mustang Mach-E. I think a Rally Maverick would be a really fun and different vehicle, though it might not be as successful in North America as it would be in Europe, given Rally isn't as popular here. Now pricing, well, I'd expect it to land somewhere in the $30,000 to $35,000 range, given the current pricing of the top trim Lariat is in the upper 20s with a few basic options. Though this could rise upwards of the $40,000 range if they really went all out. Even at that price, it would be a pretty affordable performance mini truck, and like most Ford performance products, would be a hot commodity, so look out for those dealer-adjusted markups yet again. Then, when will Ford announce a Maverick Raptor or ST? I see it as a 2023 model, launched as soon as this fall, but more likely early next year sometime. Ford has been faster to market with their performance versions after the initial release lately, possibly to their detriment as I talked about with the Bronco Raptor. But with the Maverick being out for a bit over a year in 2023, it would seem like the timing is right, with deliveries starting next summer. Well, those are my thoughts on what a performance version of the Ford Maverick could possibly be. Will we see a Raptor, or an ST or RS, or something completely different? Let me know what you think Ford should do in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.